There's a moment in life when everything feels overwhelming. Too many goals, too many distractions, too many unfinished dreams. You tell yourself you'll start tomorrow, you'll change tomorrow, you'll focus tomorrow. But tomorrow becomes next week, next month, next year. And suddenly, your life becomes a collection of almost started ideas. Every dream is just a draft. Every plan is stuck in the one day I will folder. Most people don't fail because they lack talent. They fail because they lack focus. This story is about a man who learned that the hard way. There was once a young man named Arjun. He was smart, creative, full of ideas, and full of ambition. But his mind was like a browser with 50 tabs open. He wanted to start a business, learn a new language, become fit, meditate daily, earn more money, travel, build connections, everything. If someone asked, "What do you really want?" he always said, "Everything." His biggest problem, he started everything and finished nothing. Every evening he felt guilty. Every morning he promised himself he'd change. Yet life stayed the same. One day, his company announced that they were looking to promote someone. Arjun wanted that position badly. He worked harder, took on extra tasks, stayed late at work. But no matter how hard he tried, someone else always seemed to get ahead. His colleague, Rishi, was given the promotion Arjun wanted. Rishi wasn't smarter. He wasn't more talented, but he had something Arjun didn't: focus. Rishi worked on one task at a time. He showed up every day with clarity and calm. He didn't start 10 things. He finished one. Arjun pretended he was happy for him, but inside he was shattered. That night at home, frustrated and embarrassed, he threw himself on his bed and stared at the ceiling. Why is nothing working? Why do I try so hard and get nothing? His chest felt heavy, his thoughts loud, his dreams felt too far. He scrolled through his phone to distract himself and found a video of an old monk talking about the mind. The monk said, "Your mind is like light. When scattered, it can't burn anything, but when focused, it becomes a laser, powerful enough to cut through steel." Those words hit him like cold water. A laser. The next morning, instead of going to work directly, Arjun went to the local monastery where the same monk from the video lived. He waited until people left and approached him quietly. "I work hard," Arjun said, "but nothing changes. I try so many things, yet I feel stuck." The monk smiled gently. "You're not stuck because of lack of effort. You're stuck because you are everywhere except where you are." Arjun didn't understand, so the monk guided him outside to a small pond. "Throw a stone into the water," the monk said. Arjun did. The water rippled, forming small waves. "Now throw a handful of pebbles quickly," the monk instructed. Arjun scattered them into the water, but instead of clear ripples, there was only disturbance. Waves crashing into each other. No center, no direction. "Do you see?" the monk explained. "One stone creates impact. Many pebbles only create noise." "And your mind is doing the same," the monk continued. "You are throwing pebbles everywhere, expecting the effect of a stone." Arjun stared at the water. For the first time in his life, he understood. His problem wasn't lack of work, it was lack of focus. Every day he woke up with intention, but got lost in distraction. The monk placed a hand on his shoulder and said, "Focus on just one change, not 10, not 5, 1. Arjun asked, "But which one?" The monk smiled. "The one that scares you the most, the one you know will change you." Then the monk gave him a simple challenge. Choose one habit and repeat it for 30 days without failure. Any habit. But he had to finish it. Arjun picked waking up at 5 a.m. and using the first hour just for himself, reading, planning his day, and meditation. Day 1 was hard. Day 2 was harder. His body wanted to sleep. His brain wanted his phone. He wanted instant results. But he had promised the monk, and more importantly, himself. The first week felt frustrating. No change, no motivation, only discipline. On day 8, he almost quit. He sat on the edge of his bed thinking, "Why am I doing this? I don't see any difference." But then he remembered the monk's words. One stone creates impact. So, he continued. Slowly, something shifted. Waking up early made him calmer. He felt like he finally had control of his day. With this one habit, focus entered his life. And when focus entered, distractions left. 20 days passed. Not only was he waking up early, but he started finishing tasks that he used to postpone. Instead of juggling 10 projects, he picked one big goal at a time. He stopped checking his phone every 5 minutes. He stopped saying yes to everything. He removed unnecessary tasks and focused only on what mattered. By day 30, his life was different. Not because of magic, not because he suddenly became smarter or luckier, but because he finally understood a powerful truth. When you control your focus, you control your life. Months passed. Arjun became known for his reliability. The management trusted him. People admired his calmness. And one day, the same company that ignored him earlier offered him a leadership role. But the best part? He didn't need the validation anymore. He wasn't working to prove himself. He was working because he finally loved who he was becoming. One evening, after receiving the promotion, Arjun visited the monk again. He bowed and said, "My life changed because of one habit." The monk shook his head and replied, "No, your life changed because you finally learned to finish what you started." Arjun smiled, because now he understood. Success was never about doing more. It was about doing what mattered. And so, this is your message today. You don't need to change your life overnight. You don't need a perfect routine or crazy discipline. All you need is one habit that pulls you forward. One thing you decide to finish no matter what. The smallest daily improvement beats the biggest inconsistency. A focused mind is unstoppable. A scattered mind is exhausted. If your life feels overwhelming, start here. Pick one habit. Just one. Read for 10 minutes every day. Exercise for 20 minutes. Wake up early. Meditate. Journal. Learn a skill. But finish it. When you finish, your brain builds trust. Once your brain trusts you, everything becomes easier. Because a person who can control their focus can control their destiny.